With the arrival of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the time is surely here for Nintendo to turn its marketing spotlight on to Pikmin 4. But what will that look like? How much will they show? When will they show it? Nintendo's choices here could give us a lot of insight into how they see this lovely franchise. Is Pikmin 4 a brief palate cleanser after Tears of the Kingdom, or a statement of intent for a franchise they want to position for a much brighter future? Let's dive right in with the most dramatic option, a Pikmin Direct. In the Switch era, Nintendo was given the game-specific Direct treatment to only a few titles, major third-party games like Dragon Quest XI and Monster Hunter, huge franchises like Mario, Splatoon and Animal Crossing, and their promising new IP from the Mario Kart team, ARMS, plus of course both Xenoblade Chronicles games. Although, to be fair, Breath of the Wild did have the entirety of Nintendo's E3 floor space in 2016. Also not featured on the game-specific Direct lists are casual games in the main, no Mario Sports, but there's also none of the games that have relatively straightforward pick-up-and-play mechanics, no Donkey Kong, no Kirby, or even Fire Emblem, where the mechanics are broadly the same from game to game. Smash is an exception of course, but Smash is exceptional on all sorts of levels. The games which seem to receive game-specific Directs are titles which are important to EPD, or they're important to key partner studios. They're relatively niche and have complex game mechanics. Pikmin does fit squarely into this category, and although you may argue that Pikmin 3's release on Switch has already whetted the audience's appetite for Pikmin-themed content to the point where audiences don't need a full Direct to explain the mechanics of the game, I would suggest that the install base of Pikmin 3 Deluxe is still sufficiently small that a refresher would be in everyone's interest. So far, the case for a Pikmin Direct is pretty flimsy, but there is some evidence Pikmin could be lined up for a Direct, if only because, well, it already happened. It was Japan only, sure, but on the 26th of June 2013, nearly a decade ago, Shigeru Miyamoto sat down and chatted up a Pikmin Storm for Japanese audiences only. Now, these were the early days of Directs, and the threshold for making it into a game-exclusive Direct were a little more lax. Bayonetta 2 and Hyrule Warriors also received game-specific Directs. Let's be frank, the Wii U at the time did not have a steady cadence of releases to talk about, so it only made sense to capitalise on the releases that it did have by giving them a bigger focus. Still, Hyrule Warriors and Bayonetta both did receive quite distinctive treatments from Nintendo for their later releases. Age of Calamity was given a lengthy introduction trailer with a preface by Eiji Anou himself talking about what would become Tears of the Kingdom. It wasn't quite a Direct of its own, but it was still a substantial showcase, and two factors perhaps stopped it from receiving a fuller presentation. Firstly, the fact that this was still during the height of the pandemic, and secondly, that Nintendo seemed to have taken to a playbook with the Hero of the Wild related games that they sell themselves, so there's no need to gild the lily by over-promoting a game people are going to want to pick up anyway. I realise Age of Calamity sold a fraction of what Breath of the Wild did, but it was still a landmark sales triumph for the Warriors games. As for Bayonetta, it did receive a bit of special love as the announcement trailer for Bayonetta 3 glomped the prestigious Game Awards slot. Okay, so I think I've established that there's at least a credible reason to believe Nintendo might go down the route of giving Pikmin its own Direct. The question then becomes, why would they, in an era where they're diversifying their market strategies with increased use of Twitter drops, digital first releases, and all sorts, why would they go for the most traditional route? Let me take you back to 2018, when things for Nintendo briefly looked very bleak. After a thin year in terms of game releases so far, E3 rolled around and Smash Bros. Absolutely dominated the June E3 Direct in 2018, with very few games being announced apart from that. Shortly after, perhaps fearing that Nintendo would run out of ammo, investors clearly panicked and there was a share price dip. I can't say if this is what caused a change in Nintendo's approach, of course, they'd never reveal their thinking in this way, but the September 2018 and February 2019 Directs both had major releases from the first-party studios at the top and tail in Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Mario Maker, and Link's Awakening, plus a lot of reveals such as Astral Chain in the body of the Directs. Their mistake was that because they didn't show what was to come, people started to assume that there was nothing to come. There is a significant risk of this happening after Tears of the Kingdom. It's a major release, but people are already hyping it as the last major Switch game, whether Nintendo wants them to or not. Now, if Nintendo has its usual handful of decently strong holiday titles to showcase, there's no problem. Just do a general Direct in late May or June, show what's coming, and bask in adulation. But there is a significant chance that this might not be the case. Maybe the back half of 2023 is thin gruel for Switch fans. Maybe it's jam-packed with new releases, probably therefore linked to new technology they don't want to discuss just yet. Either way, Nintendo needs to maintain investor confidence while not saying very much. And look, Nintendo is in a sufficiently confident position that they can withstand the usual market wobbles, but I think they'd at least want to head off the possibility of market turbulence by smoothing out their hype cycles. And the best way to do that is a classic bit of misdirection. Make Pikmin 4 an event launch by hyping it up to the hilt. After all, why tip your hand about your other products before you need to? Now, this channel isn't just about random speculation, but giving specific numbers so we can look back and see what came true and what didn't in order to calibrate future forecasts. Game-specific Nintendo Directs are still very rare beasts, and so the absolute chance of any one game receiving a game-specific Direct is quite low. Therefore, even though I think there is an elevated chance for Pikmin to receive this fated accolade, I'm still going to put this as a low chance, about 30%. Another possibility, as I said, is that we might see a more traditional trailer as part of a June or late May General Direct. My head has been slightly turned by the rumours that a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door port may be in the offing, and I can't help but think that if this is the case, June, a month that, as I've established in a previous video, is usually Mario's to own, is an ideal month for a Mario-themed shadow drop in the vein of Metroid Prime Remastered. Whether or not the Paper Mario drop comes to pass, I think a General Direct between the end of May and the start of July has to have a strong chance. If it weren't for the sad demise of E3 and the pivot to partner directs in some recent years, I don't think one would even be in question. Of course, there's nothing to say there might not be a General and a Pikmin exclusive Direct, but giving Pikmin a good push in the General Direct may suffice for Nintendo. I'm going to put a June General Direct, not a partner Direct, but a first-party focused Direct at a 50% likelihood. But you know what? There's a 100% chance if you like and subscribe to this channel now, you'll see more in-depth forecasting videos, so what are you waiting for? Of course, there are other possibilities beside a full Pikmin Direct, such as a Treehouse showcase or, perhaps more importantly, another few trailers. Vantage Emblem has already created an in-depth video looking at when such a trailer might drop, so I've included a link to that wonderful channel alongside another one of my own forecast videos for you to have a look at. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.